Hey, Steve here again with a few comments on what I'm going to call idea generation. Well, for sure, we always want ideas, don't we? Or not necessarily always, I guess. Let me rephrase that. We often want ideas. Why? Well, one man's perspective, I don't know about you, but I have problems in my life. Usually not big problems, but always problems. And I don't, look at problems as a negative. I look at them more as a fact of life. It's just, and what I mean by problems is just barriers. Like we're going along in what it is that we want to do, and we run into something that seems either insurmountable or just not what we want to deal with. But we either have to push through and somehow or get around. Because if we want to keep going on the journey, well, we got to find a way. I think of when I walked across the continent a few years ago, and I walked through the Rocky Mountains, and going through Rogers Pass, it occurred to me many times that it must have been a real challenge for the early explorers when they tried to cross the mountains, right? They would have had to try to find the best access into the mountains, which would have been probably the river valleys. And then once they got to the end of it, the river valley, they would have to look for the lowest part of the mountain and try to scale that, and they call that a pass, right? And then hope like hell on the other side they can see another river valley and not just an endless swath of more mountains. So these are the sort of things we have to deal with many times. And how we get through them, I think, varies depending on what it is we're dealing with, and also like the severity of it, I guess, and where we are in life and whatnot. And the thing is that sometimes I find just hacking away at something is the way to get through it. Just slogging it and like just bull moosing and pushing on it and away it goes, right? Other times I find that can sort of beat myself to death doing that. And it's better almost to just pull back and consider and have a look at it, have a bigger look at it. And what works for me sometimes is just getting away from it. Like physically extricating myself from that path, taking a rest, taking some thought, allowing myself to do something different, a little bit of enjoyment away from it or whatever, and then all of a sudden something clicks. There's something I never considered. You know what I mean? So I think that's important. I think that rest and recreation once in a while is great. And it's probably why the old-time religions talked about taking a rest day, because, of course, they instituted it into their societies. But the point behind it is probably accurate, which is that when we're slogging away at stuff, sometimes we run into issues that if we just pulled back, we'd see them from a bigger perspective. Because I think sometimes when we're up right close and personal to something, and especially if the slog is not working, not getting us anywhere, then pulling back from it can get us to see a broader, like a bird's eye view of it, and realize, we could go over here, we could go over here. The same result is possible by taking a totally different approach. And I think it's something to consider, that every once in a while it's good to take a break and reconsider what we're doing. And sometimes great results can come from it. Steve here again, great chatting. If you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, and share. We'll talk again soon. Bye for now.